Now, just now we covered until the project manager roles. Now let's look at project planning. Now, when you do project planning, you will come across a definition for scope statement. So what is scope statement? Scope statement is a document. It's a document that mention information about the projects. Okay. Another one, statement of work. Statement of work is a description of the objective. Okay. So statement, scope statement is a document. Statement of work is a description of objective. So these are the definition for these two words when you okay. So when we talk about project planning, it will cover project statement, scope statement, and statement of work. Okay. Next, we talk about WBS, work breakdown structure. Okay, work breakdown structure, WBS. So WBS is a tool when it comes to project planning. Okay, so what is WBS? So this WBS, inside WBS, you will see your major component and subcomponent. Basically, you break your activities into very small mission to achieve. Okay, so for this slide, what's important is that you heard WBS before. There's a work breakdown structure in project planning. Okay, how you can identify WBS in your project planning? When you look at WBS, inside there you will see hierarchy. You will see organization chart, project chart, something like that. So you put everything in a structure so that you can focus on the high level and low level activities. Okay. So WBS, it gives you organization structure that it will tell you the story, what is the main, what is the important, what is a high rank project and low rank project, or high level project, high level activity and low level activity. Okay. And there's no specific way to develop WBS. Okay, there's no specific way to develop a WBS. There's no right or wrong in develop a WBS. Okay. However, there are some structure when you look at WBS. There are some structure that you can follow or identify. We can divide into upper level and lower level. At the upper level of the WBS, you will see summary. You will see summary of what you're going to do, and usually it will indicate what has to be done. Okay, so WBS have a framework, or there's a structure you follow. Upper level of WBS, it will more on summary of the activities, and it will indicate what has to be done. Okay, so lower level, okay, then lower level, the lower level of your WBS, it will tell you the detailed activity. Usually answer the question how it is done. Okay, so WBS have two hierarchy, or two level. Top level will be about what to be done. Bottom level of WBS, it will talk about how the thing is done. Okay, so these are the main pattern that you can see when you look at WBS. Work breakdown structure. So this is example of WBS. So you can see this is an example of a computerized order processing system in manufacturing. So it's a computerized order processing system in manufacturing. So you can see higher hierarchy and lower hierarchy. So upper level, maybe the first level, you have what to do. So you have a hardware, software, and personnel. Lower level, you have all the activity, what or how you need to do. Okay, for example, installation, testing, modification, and so on. Okay, so this is sample of WBS. Next, we talk about responsibility assignment matrix. When we talk about assignment matrix, you will come across this definition. OBS, organization breakdown structure. What is OBS? Is a organization chart. All right. OBS actually is an organization chart. Is a chart that tells you the responsibility of each steps. So here you will see this table. You see OBS unit means breakdown structure. You have hardware, system, software, technical, quality, customer, supplier, and so on. And you have a level of responsibility 1 to 3. Overall responsibility, performance responsibility, and support. And then you have column 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one is area preparation, technical, staff, wiring, connector, and so on. So these are all the metrics that you can put in. What are the importance of the left-hand side and the column? Okay. So another words that come on is RAM, RAM, responsibility assignment matrix. So it will tell you what is the responsibility in the projects. So who will be the responsible for that particular item? Okay, so there are two new words on these slides, OBS and RAM. OBS and RAM. So this one again is stressed on how important to complete a project on time. Okay, it is very important. If you go outside there, time is something it's very costly. So if you have a project, make sure you always complete on time. So you try to imagine when you talk about project scheduling, you try to imagine when you try to build a school, but the school was not completed before the school start, right? You're not able to complete by the time the semester start. So what will happen to the shareholders, right? The parents, what they feel. Of course, the student, maybe they feel happy, no need to go to school. But what about the investor? What about the parents who work so hard to send their children to get the education, right? So the parents will be very angry. And you try to imagine if you are having a project, build a shopping mall in the neighborhood and not able to complete on time, especially to catch up the Christmas, for example, to catch up the Christmas season of the shopping periods. So your investor going to be very angry because your vendors, your partners, business partner, not able to sell their products, and they have to relocate their business somewhere else. Okay, so project scheduling is very important to make sure your projects are completed on time. So one of the tools you use is you can use Microsoft Projects to develop the schedule, right? Or you can use just a normal Excel to do some planning for you. Okay, so developing a schedule, they have some basic steps. First, you define what you want in the activities. So usually on the left column of your Gantt chart or in your project's schedule, you will have activity on the left-hand side. Then you arrange based on the sequence. So what is important will be on the first row, then it followed by second activity, third activity, fourth activity, fifth activity, and so on. So it will be similar to what you have done in preparing the Gantt chart for your FYP1, okay, or FYP2, or even for your capstone design projects, or even other projects also. Okay, first define activity, what activity you want to run. Second, arrange them according to their sequence. Third, you do the time, estimate the time, you highlight the color. Activity 1, 3 months, activity 2, 4 months, and so on. Then you make sure that you have a reasonable schedule for the projects. Okay. So these are the basic steps of developing a project schedule. Okay. So I already mentioned all this already. So don't say you don't know how to develop a project schedule when you go into your FYP1, when you go into your capstone design projects. You don't tell your lecturer, sir, I don't know how to do project schedule. I already mentioned this 4 steps already. Okay. Gantt chart, I think something that you're familiar with. So what I mean by Gantt chart is a graph with a bar that tell the story of your activities. Okay, so this is a Gantt chart. You have the activity, have the time to complete. Okay, so from the first sequence, from the first activity until the last one, you will complete your projects. For example, if you look at this Gantt chart, you know what is the total time need to complete, right? So this one is from a design house. So we will use this chart for our exercise later on. So you have, this is a Gantt chart for building a house. So building a house, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have 7 activity there. So activity 1 required 0 to 3. So required 3 months to complete the first activity. Second activity, lay foundation, it need the 3rd month until the 6th month, but the total time you need for activity number 2 will be, sorry, this is 3, 4, 5, right? 3, 4, 5. So 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, you need 2 months. Okay, you need 2 month period here. Then for order and receiving material, you need 1 month of time. So 3 to 4. Okay, month, 3rd month until the 4th month, 1 month. Then you build houses from 5th month until this is number 8. So you need another 3 months to build the house. So during the time of building house, you have 3 more activities or 2 more activities within the time frame there. So you have select paint within the 5th month and the 6th month. So this one is 1 month. So select carpet, also spend another 1 month. And you finish the work in 1 month time. So the total time frame building a house is 9 months. Okay, so from Gantt chart itself, you tell your story, how the project can be done. And later we'll develop metrics and lots of calculation starting from Gantt chart itself. Okay, so this is how we do. So these are all the things that I mentioned just now, 7 activities. And from the Gantt chart also, it tells you the precedence relationship. So in chapter 2, when you do the precedence diagram, we already mentioned what is precedence. Means you need to follow the sequence. For example, select carpet can only come after you select paint, or can only after you have start building the house. Okay, so these are the precedence relationship when you do analysis later on. Slack. Slack is a new term for today's lecture. SLACK. Slack is the amount of time an activity can delay without delaying the projects. What does it mean? You look at this diagram. For designing house and financing, you need 3 months. Then after you finish financing, you lay the foundation because you get money already. So only you lay the foundation. You start from month number 3 until the 5th month. Here, you order and receiving materials. You start from month number 3, you start ordering material. There is a gap here. There's a free activity here, or there's a free time over here. What I mean by slack? So I highlight this area where it will tell you that activity number 3 here, with its order and receiving material, if anything happened in this slot, this activity afford to delay until this slot. I repeat, what I mean by slack? You look at the Gantt chart, you try to find the slot and the preceding that allow you to buy time for the projects. So example, this item number 3 here, order and receive material. In this Gantt chart, you cannot start before you do the financing. So you can only start when you do financing, completed financing, only you can start order material. However, because of the arrangement inside this Gantt chart, this one can be done before the start of building the house. You can done this activity before item number 4 and number 5. So there is a gap here initially. There's a gap here that you can play around. With this 1 month here that you can play around. This section here we call slack. In this Gantt chart here, there is slack over here. 1 month slack for activity number 3. Same with here. Same with here. Okay, because these two run concurrently with activity number 4, but there's a time here. However, there's a preceding of activity here. You cannot start selecting carpet before you select paint. Means you must select paint first, only you can go for carpet. And you cannot start this one. you cannot finish the work if you haven't complete the carpet and selecting the paint. So these two, if there's a delay of 1 month here, this one will move forward. So these two will only give you 1 month of window to play around, because if you delay this one 1 month, this one, if you delay 1 month, if you select paint in month number 6 here, you push this activity over here, it's going to affect this one, because this one only can start after you complete this one. So if you move this one 1 month late than the schedule, this one will move 1 month also, and it cannot push further. Okay, so you need to be careful, look carefully on the Gantt chart. When you play around with the slacks later on, sometimes you can move the activity 1 month, delay 1 month, but some activity you're not allowed to move further. For example, this one. Okay, for example, this one. You're not able to move if you delay 1 month in this activity. You can only move this one if this one follows schedule, and you can play around. There's an empty slot here that you can play. Do you get the idea? Any questions so far about slack? Because this is a very important concept later on. Any question about slacks?
No, doctor.
Let me check attendance. Yeah. So you need to be careful on all these times. Pay attention to precedence relationship when you look at Gantt chart and activity later on. Yeah. So this is just the first start. Okay. So if you have no question on this one, we move forward. So project control. What is project control? We're still at the definition section. Okay. So project control is a process that you make sure the projects run smoothly and complete on time. Okay. So what you need to do inside project control, the keyword is monitor. Monitor. When you're monitoring, you have a progress activity. You monitor the projects and you identify the progress of the activity. If any delay inside the projects, you need to rectify, you need to make sure it do not affect the final completion time. Okay, so this is during the control. Okay, so this slides basically is just a reminder when you try to solve an exam question or test question. This slides is just to remind you that always make sure you do calculation based on the completion time. Okay, the minimum completion time. Okay, so basically when you do project control, you'll go through these 4 stages. I will not go deep into this one, but based on the name itself, I think you can elaborate on the points that related to project control. During project control, what you do, you manage time, you manage costs, you manage the quality, and also you manage the performance of the overall projects. Okay, so one of the keyword of the performance here, still remember the ROI. There's a one equation to calculate performance. So during control, you keep on calculating and changing your ROI number. Okay, because when the project is running, the cost also running, so it will affect your ROI numbers. So you keep monitoring all this time, cost, quality, and performance during project control stage. Okay, so this is elaboration. Talk about performance especially. So when you talk about performance, there's one procedure when you study a core subject like project management, PMP, project management and planning. PMP, there's one particular certification program called PMP. So if you go to that certification program, one of the module that you study is called earned value analysis or earned value management. Okay, earned value analysis or EVA is a complex procedure or is a standard procedure to forecast the performance. Okay, so this is only one of the very brief idea what is happened in the EVA analysis. You look at actual work completion. You have a few lines inside the chart there. So your chart will usually the cost on the left hand side, or money on the left hand side, on your y-axis, time on your x-axis. Then you'll see three lines. Okay, you will see three lines. One of the line is actual work accomplished, which is the bottom line. What the work actually costs. So you have a second line on the cost. So one is the progress, one is on cost. And there's one black line, which is your planned work. This is your schedule. Okay, so this is your schedule. And then you use these three lines to make calculation. So the procedure to analyze PV, AC, EV is fall under EVA category. We won't go deep into this one because this one is a core subject itself. We can't afford to go for the very detailed calculation for EVA. Okay. So again, this is just a reminder. EVA can or EVM, it can be a core subject for project management. Okay, it can be one module itself for calculating the EVA. Okay, a lot of calculation there. Okay, we stop here. Next lecture, we talk about CPM and PERT. Okay, we stop here.